welcome to Garden Style. So today we are going to cover how to plant designer containers. I just happen to have a couple that are sitting in the front of my garage, and I will go over with you some of the 3 basic steps that it takes to plant a beautiful, filled up, awesome summer container. So here we go. Okay, so I have 2 of these tall containers that sit in front of the garage. So we definitely need something that's going to add height to the pot as well as be able to fill it out. Now I've already emptied all the old soil out of these pots, and I have actually inserted some coffee filters down in the bottom as well as gravel, because I didn't want to fill the entire thing with soil, being most of these plants that I'm putting in today are annuals, but you definitely need the drainage. So I have filled them up with their coffee filters, we have a little bit of gravel, and then I put the rest of the soil inside. Now the soil I'm using today has Osmocote in it. It's a slow release fertilizer that will get them through most of the summer. The bag claims at least 6 months, so that's plenty. But I will find that I'm going to end up fertilizing these plants probably by June, at least every other week, with a soluble fertilizer. That's something you would put in the water and just water them with it, just to give them that extra boost and keep them nice and fluffy. So I will zoom in a little bit so you can watch how I put this together. Now I have filled this container to about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from the top of the pot in here. And the soil is very fluffy. It's got a lot of peat and perlite in it. And that just helps retain the water during the summertime, because your containers dry out way faster than anything you would put in the ground in your garden. So, 3-step process once you've got your soil in is, first of all, you need a thriller plant, and the thriller is usually the first plant that goes in, and this just happens to be one of those cordyline plants. It actually has a variegated leaf to it, and it'll get a little bit taller here, but I didn't want it to get too tall. But this guy, being you're looking at the container from the front, I'm going to set him towards the back of the container, and then I will put the thrillers in the middle, and then plants that spill over the edge. So that's kind of your 3-step process. So start with your thriller first, you fill in with your fillers here in the middle, and then your spillers will end up on the outside edge and fall over the edges. So here we go. So the cordyline plant that I'm using right now is something, at least here in the Northwest, because our winters are cold but they don't get super cold, he will probably just survive, and I'll be able to actually put them out in the garden next year. Now when you pull plants out and their roots are all compacted like this, it's just got a very stiff root memory. It's a real good idea to loosen them up. This guy is so anxious to go. You just loosen them up a little bit. I kind of massage them around the edges, and then I try and find the right side to put in the dirt. We'll dig a little hole, and you just put him in so that he's right at the surface of the pot. Press him down in there. Okay, 1 down. Then I found these beautiful Martha Washington geraniums. And these aren't actually a geranium, they're actually a pelargonium. The geranium version of these is actually a perennial version of the same flower, but they bloom and bloom and bloom all summer long. They also love the sun, and these pots do get blasted in the afternoon with sun. So I'm just shedding off some of the old icky leaves off the bottom. And these make a great filler plant. And the root balls on these aren't too bad. In fact, they're not bad at all. So I just tickle them just a little bit on the bottoms. And I try and tear out any old, dead, dying blooms that are on here. And I actually have 2 of these that I'm going to put in. So I'm going to put one here up close to where my thriller plant is, cordyline. Place them down in here. second one. Right here. Root balls aren't bad at all. And I'm going to put them side by side here. Tallest part of the plant towards the back. And already I've created what I call a triangle. So you have your center one here in the back, and then you've got a little triangle of 3 plants in here. And next, I have one extra filler here that I wanted to throw in. I happen to have an extra. And that's this little guy. And this is actually a Nemesia Glacier White. Is the name of the color. And I decided to put him kind of like right in the center, right here. And he will actually bush up and out like this. And I wanted to add a little white in there. This is going to be like a pink, white, and purple kind of theme that we're putting in. And then one of my favorite spiller plants is Bacopa. And they have these beautiful lavender flowers, and they just get caked, and these guys will just drape all the way down the sides of the pot. So I have a couple of these I'm going to insert in there, and I lean them a little bit towards the outside edge. That helps them start to fill in like that. Place one on the other side. Just lean it towards the outside edge of the pot. I'll be coming back in here, of course, to fill in any gaps where we need more soil. And then my next favorite all-time trailing plant is called the potato vine. And this is a beautiful lime green. And he's a little dry. Give him some water here. Just watered him yesterday. He's going to need a little bit more, but we intend to do that anyway. Okay, and I'm going to stick him right smack in the middle. And that is all you need. This is about a 14-inch pot, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants in here. And that's pretty crammed. But these guys are annuals for the most part, except for maybe the Coraline that's sitting in the back. So I'm a true believer, just, I'm about instant gratification anyway. So I pack my containers and allow, a little space so that everybody can fill out. But you'll find here in a couple of months that you won't even be able to see the top of the pot. All these plants are just going to fill right in and fill right out. So I'm going to add a little more soil to this, water them in, and move on to the next one. So there you go, and we have some height here with our thriller plant, and then we have our fillers here in the middle, and then some spillers that will be sitting around here on the edge. Now I probably could have added 2 more plants here to the center, but I know how voracious these Bacopas are, and they will actually fill this in, and this potato vine, he'll just go insane. And probably in about 2 months, this potato vine will be like this, and actually hitting the ground, and I'm going to end up trimming him every week because they grow so fast. So always a good idea to water them in. I wash the dirt off the leaves, and it helps settle the dirt down. And then come back and check on it in about an hour just to make sure that you don't need to add more soil to the edges. But the first watering definitely helps kind of settle everything in and get it all settled in around the roots. And this guy, this whole thing will just be going berserko here in the next 3 to 4 weeks as soon as they get the roots in and they get established. So just a nice little rule for containers, being this happened to be a tall one. Just didn't want anything too high so it doesn't cover up some of the artwork that I have sitting on the wall here. But there you go, that's your start. They always look a little funny to start with, but give it a couple of weeks and it's going to start filling right in. Okay.